let's move on to Lyft. You want to talk about Lyft?
Let's talk about Lyft.
Okay, Lyft, and we're talking about the car ride-sharing company. They're in the software application industry as well, so not a car company, but software application. The short float on this is pretty dangerous, 16.2%. That's pretty high. We don't like seeing above 10. Institutional ownership is 95. PE ratio is 97.9 versus 52 for the industry. Price to sales 1.6 versus 6.8. That's a positive. Price to book value is 12.8 versus 7.1. That's not good. And then the price of cash flow is 9.1 versus 31.7. That is a positive, and no PEG ratio there. Now, there's no earnings growth over the last year, but sales are up 19.9%, better than the industry growth of 4.7. 5-year earnings per share estimate from the analyst is not very good. It's a negative 54.2 versus a positive 8.2 for the industry. Lyft does not pay a dividend. We do see at the balance sheet here, we got a current ratio of 0.7 versus 1.7. I don't want to say it worries me, but I don't like seeing 0.7. I like to see it around 1, which means you can cover the next 12 months of liabilities with 12 months of assets. Debt to equity looks okay, 1.1 versus 0.5. We do see a net profit margin here of 1.5%. Glad to see they have a profit margin. I didn't think they even did. 12.6 for the industry. Return on equity is 12.6 as well. Let's see, free cash flow, $993 million versus $2.8 billion for the industry. I want to like this because of the concept going on, but maybe you got something better to tell me going forward.
Yeah, I'll give the numbers first, and then there's kind of a story that gave it a little bit of a lift this past week.
Hey, lift a lift. Okay.
The current price for Lyft, their ticker symbol again, LYFT, $22.58. 52-week range. I mean, it's done very well off the low here of $9.66. The high, $23.50. The 1-year return on this is a positive 78%, but gosh, the 5-year return, not looking so good. 5-year return down 22%. And I was like, I'm kind of curious, what was the all-time high for Lyft? It looks like Lyft reached an all-time high stock price of $78.29. Here's the interesting thing. That was on March 29th, 2019. Any guess when they IPO'd?
March 18th?
March 29th, 2019.
Wait, so when did it hit the high?
Their all-time closing high was the same as their IPO date. So they have not closed at an all-time high
since their
IPO date.
Wow. That's the problem with buying IPOs.
Yeah. I mean, that's an extreme. I don't know if I've seen that.
And I know we talked about last week. We talked about StubHub. You said that they're down like 10% from when we talked about it last week, I think.
Yeah, and well, actually, this is kind of StubHub actually went down every single day during after the IPO as well. But the funny thing with Lyft is the IPO price was $72, with trading beginning the next day at $87.24. So that means the first person that bought. They've never made money.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting story. And again, another example of why you don't get sucked into the hype. This is like Uber. This is going to be great. And it's just like, this is definitely struggled to say the least. But going forward for Lyft, we go out to December 2026. I see estimated earnings per share here of $1.40. I mean, it gives us a target sell price of $23.24, right around the current level. So my forward PE is right around 15.6, 15.7 times those future earnings.
What was your earnings for 2026?
$1.40.
Okay, now I have 32 analysts, and they're showing, I'm making sure I got the number right here, next year, December 26, only 48 cents.
Oh, wow. I only have 19 analysts, so that's...
Okay, and I have one that gives it a estimate of $1.09, but somebody says, going to lose 2 cents.
Oh, wow. My range is 96 cents to 205, so I don't have any loss, but... Interesting. But big news, the reason Lyft was kind of prominent was, I guess, Alphabet-owned self-driving car Waymo partnered with Uber to get its robotaxis in Atlanta and Austin, Texas, but is now teaming up with Lyft for the first time to enter the Nashville market next year. So riders in Nashville will be able to either hail a Waymo via the Waymo One app or the Lyft app.
And I thought this was going to happen because you got the self-driving cars, and then you've got Uber and Lyft that have the software that has all this information that actually you can use. It's just a natural marriage to have that, and that's what I think Waymo and Lyft want to do is kind of marriage it together, use Lyft software and use Waymo to do the self-driving cars.
You know, the CEO of Lyft was on CNBC this past week, and he was talking about how complicated it is to build out a ride-sharing app. And I can kind of understand the complexities of it to a very surface level because I'm not a tech guy.
Right.
But the thing that I don't understand is if Waymo nails this, self-driving car, I still am having a hard time seeing why do they need Uber and Lyft. You have Google Maps.
Right.
You have people that are cream of the crop when it comes to technology. I just don't see why they wouldn't be able to build out their own app. And they have already started that. Now they're going to, I guess, kind of compare costs. They're partnering with Uber, partnering with Lyft, and they have their own Waymo One app. I don't know if partnerships 5 to 10 years from now would be as profitable as having your own app. And, I'm not in the day-to-day business of it, but to me, I'm like, I think there's a lot of risk to Lyft if things don't go the right way.
Yeah, and I think they would actually merge would be a better thing eventually because and I think it'd be very costly to do that app that Uber and Lyft have because I think they've probably spent a lot of money on it, I'll say. And there's things that they have where you probably wouldn't think of, and you can't just steal the app. Yeah, so there's probably some value to there, but I agree with you. I mean, eventually that's going to go away. So either Lyft has to buy Waymo, or Lyft is going to be bought by Waymo or somebody or Google.
Or there's still the chance. I know it'd be difficult, but I still think Waymo could do it. I mean, because part of the problem with the Lyft and Uber is I think pairing up your driver with a person. Well, if you get rid of the driver, now you just have one side of the equation. But again, I don't know the technology that's required for that. So that would require a lot of research to understand how much risk is there to Lyft and Uber long term.
Right.
I know Tesla, they're talking about doing their own thing. So
yeah, that could be.